Hey everybody, I'm CC Trubiak and welcome to CC's Vinyl Closet. I'm feeling better now that we're through. Feeling better 'cause I'm over you. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Baby, you're no good. I'm gonna say it again. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good. Baby, you're no good. To set the stage for today's episode, we're going to be highlighting the LPs that Linda Ronstadt released between 1970 and 1978, and there is tons of stuff. I mean, tons. Linda was a beast! And I want to get right into the thick of it, so let's not waste any time. Let's do this. There's tons of amazing work, both solo and collaborative, and this project has opened up my world in terms of discovering more about Linda's journey to becoming the reigning queen of country rock music through the 70s, with collaborative associations, which I'm really excited to share with you all starting now. Now, in episode 17, I mentioned as much that my favorite records by Linda Ronstadt are her country rock records. That still remains true today, but I have to admit that this project has just blown my mind wide open in the best possible way. These country rock records are electrifying when it comes down to it. They're just rich in songwriting for one thing. Linda is and was an original, and her approach to singing always seemed effortless, and yet to say her voice had enormous power, pitch, and range is an understatement. A big understatement. A big understatement. She had power and pitch and control. It was one of the things that I really admire most about her, is her voice as an instrument. She takes it very seriously, takes very good care of it, and you can tell in the singing that it's full of power and pitch. Now, because there's so much to cover in this episode, I'm going to be breaking things down in my own special, little unique way, and I guess that's one of the perks of having your own channel. You can do what you want, even if it don't make no sense. But by that, I mean I'm going to be referencing a healthy handful of collaborative associations that I've discovered as a part of this gospel. Stuff that gets me salivating, satiating on the thirst of it all. Everything ahead pretty much represents the best of country rock music to me. Strap in, cowboys. Now, it seems most appropriate to kick things off by saluting Peter Asher. He was Linda Ronstadt's longtime producer, and his name was all over these records, and I want to take some proper time to acknowledge that. Mr. Peter Asher was an English guitarist, singer, manager, and record producer, and I do remember it as I used to pore over the records, seeing that Peter Asher name and seeing his photo in some of those inner liner notes, thinking he looked like a bit of a character. But no doubt about it, when I look at all of the albums, I even tried to compile a list for you guys to see just how present he was in Linda Ronstadt's career. Like all the other producers that I've ever gagged over and relished and meditated on for this nutritional substance, I'm really impressed by what Peter Asher did. So I have to say thank you, Peter Asher, for the part you played in these beautiful, amazing records of Linda Ronstadt's. You must have been friends, but just like I admire so many of these other producers and how they treated the music and the voices of my favorite honky-tonk angels, I just have to salute you. I just think you were making some really great records throughout the 70s there and into the 80s, and I applaud you, and hallelujah for Peter Asher. I said Peter Asher. I said hallelujah, hallelujah. Now, a lot of you listening to this might already know this little tidbit about Linda Ronstadt, but back in the very early stages of her career, when she was performing at the Troubadour and recording some of her very earliest records, she infamously recruited a handful of very talented young dudes to become part of her tour band and to record her third LP, Linda Ronstadt. Now, these dudes would respectively be Glenn Frey, Don Henley, Bernie Leadon, Bernie Lead Me On, Randy Meisner. So for anyone still in the dark, these were the Eagles, and I love the Eagles. Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 they wanna own me, 2 they wanna stone me, 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Right? The Eagles have a lot of fantastic music. Their catalog in itself is just full of gold. Full. Just... Now, I grew up listening to the Eagles, much like I grew up listening to Linda Ronstadt's music. And I gotta say, country rock music fills my soul and lifts it. Pumps it up. The 1972 LP, Linda Ronstadt, is a great LP for me to reference on the subject of the Eagles because it basically features all four of these guys, and what a phenomenal album this is. This is one that I highly recommend for any Linda Ronstadt fan or fan of the Eagles. I'm going to try to break these boys down if I can. Forgive me if I slip out any important details. Glenn Frey can be found on at least 3 of Linda Ronstadt's LPs as a guitarist and background vocalist. And it was he and Don Henley who wrote the hit song Desperado, a song that was a hit for them as well, but Linda Ronstadt really put it out there and made people pay attention to who the Eagles were, and really made that song beautiful in itself. Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding fences for so long now. You better let somebody love you before it's too late. Thank you, Glenn Frey, for all the music that you have created as a part of the Eagles, on your solo stuff, and the stuff that you help with Linda Ronstadt. I revere what you do. Glenn Frey. Your music was a gift to us all. Boop. Now, Don Henley can also be found on at least 5 of Linda Ronstadt's records over the years. As a drummer, backing vocalist, and co-writer, most notably, you can really hear his vocals on the 1976 album Hasten Down the Wind on that title song with Linda. She's so many women, he can't find the one who was his friend. So he's hanging on to half her heart, but he can't love the restless part. So he tells her to hasten down the wind. He tells her to hasten down the wind. He tells her to hasten down the wind. Check that song out so you can hear the beauty of their voices together for yourself. And thank you, Don Henley, for what you brought to the Linda Ronstadt music. You've got that thing. Okay, let me pause for a minute. This one gets me a little fluttered, a little flustered there. Mr. Bernie Leadon. Bernie Leadon? The Eagles' Bernie Leadon, singer, songwriter, guitarist, and damn good mandolinist too. A great mandolinist. He can also be found amongst Linda's recordings over the years, notably the song He Dark the Sun on her 1970 album Silk Purse. And with the length of his mind, he darked the sun. Now, not to spill too much, but in her book, I do believe Linda Ronstadt mentions having a bit of a relationship with Bernie. And boy, oh boy, girl, I am jealous of you. He was one fine desperado, if you ask me, a great part of the Eagles, and offering some great stuff to your music as well. Thank you, Bernie Leadon. Lead me on, Bernie Leadon, lead me on, I love you. Now, I had to mention this stuff about the Eagles, not only because they were associated with Linda Ronstadt's music, but because they were a real pivotal band as well in the evolution of music, country, rock, folk, music, whatever you want to call it and define it as. They were a big part of it, and they were an amazing band. I've never been able to see them live, but I love their music. They too also really helped me figure out male harmonies, or just harmonies in general. I mean, I love when I hear guys harmonizing. I've mentioned this before. It's a beautiful thing to hear the girls do it too, but when I hear guys harmonizing and doing it beautifully, oh man, I don't know. It's good stuff to me. I ain't gonna lie. Sorry. So I guess in the end, what I gotta say is, praise the Eagles for their gospel. So in addition to the Eagles, there's associations and collaborations that previously used to really elude me, but not now. This project has made me take a deeper, closer look. I have been connecting with this gospel in a new way that I love. This music has been calling to me. It's been going, Cece, listen to us. Cece, hear our gospel beauty. Cece, take in our melodies. Let them soothe you. Let them soothe you, or rock you, or fill you. I hear it. I hear you. So another artist that I'm really going to highlight right here and now is Mr. J.D Souther. He is an American singer, songwriter, and actor. I've never seen any of his movies, but I have discovered through this project that he has written and co-written classic songs by Linda. And these songs that he has co-written have both been recorded by the Eagles and Linda, respectively. Now, I've got to acknowledge what a talented artist J.D Souther is. Admittedly, I'm only just discovering his solo work now, but I've picked out an album and I'm ready to catch up. I'm gonna catch up, and I'm just give me a little bit of time. Give me a little bit more time, taking the long way around, but you know what? I eventually get there. I always eventually get there. But you can find Souther's name peppered throughout the liner notes of at least 7 of Linda Ronstadt's albums. I've discovered, my friends, that a real sweet-sounding treat. I'm going to highlight the song Faithless Love from her 1974 award-winning album, Heart Like a Wheel. Faithless love, where did I go wrong? Was it telling stories in a heartbreak song? Down in some valley where nobody goes, faithless love will find you, put its chilly arms around you. Faithless love, where did I go wrong? Oh, I probably messed up a lot of the words on that song. I can't do it justice, folks. Listen to the song on the album yourself. Enjoy and appreciate the beauty of J.D Souther and Linda Ronstadt together. Formidable to me. Now, I can't wait to check out his music myself. I hear you, J.D. Thank you so much for the music that you have given to this world. Praise you. Now, moving this horse right along, pun kind of intended, I want to move on to another collaborative association, and that would be with Canadian singer-songwriter Neil Young. Now, I've seen that Neil Young and Linda Ronstadt have quite the collaborative musical history, and for years I've appreciated the cover versions that Linda has done of several Neil Young songs. Perhaps the most recognizable is her cover of Neil Young's Love is a Rose. Do people remember that song from her Greatest Hits LP? Come on, listen to this. Bam, 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 bam. Love is a rose, but you better not pick it. It only grows when it's on the vine. A handful of thorns and you know you missed it, and lose your love when you say the word mine. Mine. Love is a rose. Love is a rose. Love is a rose. Love is a rose. That's a good one. All right. I love that banjo. That banjo is great. It's a great song. Great song. Their friendship has lasted for years, and in fact, it would also see Linda providing guest vocals on some of his most recognizable hits too. They've collaborated on at least 10 LPs together combined. Linda's backup vocals can distinctively be heard on his songs Heart of Gold. You guys get this, for any Neil Young fans out there, I'm sure they already know this, but those vocals on the harmonies of Heart of Gold are Linda Ronstadt and James Taylor's. Listen to this. You keep me searching for a heart of gold. You keep me searching and I'm growing old. You keep me searching for a heart of gold. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. Oh, Right? So catchy. She also provided vocal harmonies on Old Man and Harvest Moon. On this harvest moon. Now, Linda has covered several of Neil's songs, and with all these collaborations on each other's albums said and done, I just want to take a moment to say I really admire that. I love seeing how artists would help each other out on each other's albums. It's been a real treat in this project to sort of hunt down if I can find Neil Young on her records, or if I can find her on his records. It's been so much fun. This stuff is really enlightening and pleasurable. So I really just want to essentially take a moment to praise Neil Young and Linda Ronstadt together. solo. Praise, praise, praise. Praise, praise, praise. I've never seen Neil Young live, but my stepdad has, and he said it was a great show. I love Neil Young. I love you with Linda Ronstadt, and thank you for all that glorious music. And guys, check out my playlist because you can hear these exquisite songs all in one special little place. And it's a great playlist, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not just saying it because I created it. Just one of the great things about CC's Vinyl Closet is that I am learning so much about music history. I'm kicking up all these stones and all this dust and this dirt. And in the process, I'm totally finding some real treasures. I'm not kidding you. There's actually some cool records out there that weren't official releases, I guess, but some live albums of Linda Ronstadt's out there that I've been able to find. I have been able to find her on all sorts of albums providing guest vocals. And it's pretty cool, so I might not be able to touch on everything here. But I swear to goodness, there is a lot of it, and it's fantastic. In the process of kicking up all these rocks and stones, I've discovered another artist that I never knew of before. Quite frankly, I should have known who this is. Has anyone ever heard of the artist Andrew Gold? I guess you guys can't answer. Let me catch you up if you don't know. Andrew Gold is an incredibly talented singer-songwriter who has been on a ton of Linda Ronstadt's records, both studio and touring with her. But get this, as a solo artist, he has released work, so I went out and fetched one of his albums myself, and lo and behold, I found out that Andrew Gold is the guy who wrote the theme song to Golden Girls, Thank You for Being a Friend. Thank you for being a friend. Do. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. Boom, boom, boom. Honestly, when that information came across my lap, I could have just gone lost my mind. Since I was a kid, I've loved the Golden Girls, and I think I can hum every bar of that theme song. I know a lot of people out there listening could as well. Who does not love the Golden Girls? And who does not know that theme song and has not sung it or hummed it, at least at one point? So I was really, really impressed to find out Andrew Gold existed. And not only did he write this incredible song and have a solo career, but he was a part of Linda Ronstadt's music. And in fact, he can be heard singing on some of my favorite songs. The harmony that he shared with her and Kenny Edwards is mind-blowingly beautiful. Linda Ronstadt and Andrew Gold wrote a song as well on her album Hasten Down the Wind called Try Me Again. Now, I don't believe Linda Ronstadt has written a lot of songs. I haven't seen them on these albums, but I did notice this one. And Try Me Again is a beautiful track. Not only does it have one of the most beautiful pedal steel solos that I have ever heard. Please check that song out. Try Me Again. Linda Ronstadt and Andrew Gold wrote it. Try me again. Could you try me again? It's a beautiful representation of their work, collaborative work together. But another really beautiful one is when she hooked up with Andrew Gold and Kenny Edwards and did Rivers of Babylon off of her album, I believe, Hasten Down the Wind. By the rivers of Babylon, where he sat down and he went. And he remembered Zion. For the wicked carry us away. Captivity require from us a song. How can we stand in a strange land? So let the words of our heart and the meditations of our minds be acceptable in thy sight, override. Dag nabbit, the way they sing Rivers of Babylon as a trio, it is just enough to make the hair on your arms stand up. But in the end, really all I gotta say there is thank you, Andrew Gold. Thank you, Andrew Gold, for the music that you have offered this universe. I'm sure you have made many fans happy. You've certainly touched my life. You have created a theme song and provided harmonies on Linda Ronstadt albums that I have treasured for years and that I revere. And that means something, okay? To use your own words, thank you for being a friend. One of my all-time favorite hit songs of Linda Ronstadt came off of her 1977 album called Simple Dreams, and it was called Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me. Anybody remember Poor, Poor, Pitiful Me? Poor, poor, poor me. Poor, poor, pitiful me. Poor, poor, poor me. Poor, poor, pitiful me. Oh, that's a very catchy chorus. Yeah, that's a really repetitive song, but I love it. And I had no idea that that song was written by a fella named Warren Zevon. But I sure took notice of that name, Warren Zevon, because it's a strange name. And I also noticed that he's the same fella that was responsible for writing her song Carmelita off of Simple Dreams. And I love Carmelita. I hear mariachi static on my radio, and the tubes they glow in the dark. Carmelita, hold me tighter. I think I'm sinking down, and I'm all strung out on heroin on the outskirts of town. So obviously, my curiosity was piqued on the basis alone that this fella named Warren Zevon with a strange name wrote 2 songs by Linda Ronstadt that I really liked. So lo and behold, did a little bit of searchy poo, and I found out that he was a solo artist and has music that he's released himself. So again, I just had to purchase one of his albums, logically, right? Because I just gotta hear him, gotta hear what he does on his own. So all in all, I'm just gotta say I give you props, Warren Zevon, for helping Linda out and making some music that I'm gonna check out. Boop. Okay, wait, so where in God's creation are we at this point? There is a lot, right? I know. I thank you guys for sticking with me through this. Lastly, and certainly not least, I gotta touch upon another fella with a really strange name, Waddy Watchel. You guys heard of Waddy Watchel? I'm sure you have, right? I know. I'm really late. I'm late to the game, but I'm finally here. With a name and a look like Waddy Watchel, how can a person not stop and take notice? CeCe's Vinyl Closet, I mean the gospel of the honky-tonk angels, has finally brought to my attention American composer and record producer who worked as a session musician for many artists in his time, including Linda Ronstadt, Stevie Nicks, the Rolling Stones, Bon Jovi, and more. That's a pretty cool list of people to have worked with, Waddy. Now look, folks, I can't help myself from taking notice of this dude, okay? The dude with the hair and the moose knuckle. And now I understand what a phenomenally gifted musician he is and how present he is on Linda's records. Now at this point, Waddy Watchel is a name that I'm not going to forget. I've checked out a lot of YouTube videos where I can see you in action. I see you on the liner notes of these albums. I think you're really one intriguing looking musician and phenomenally talented. I do dream of being in a band like this with all of these type of musicians making the kind of music that you guys made. What phenomenal music you guys have given us in this world. What incredible lives you guys have led in touring and making these records. I so appreciate it. Thank you for this incredible country rock music, music of the ages. I also took notice of a track that Waddy Watchel wrote on Linda's album called Maybe I'm Right, Maybe I'm Wrong. I took notice of this and I thought it was a really beautiful song. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Somebody tried to explain it to me. I just wanna know if he's still happy. I just wanna know if he's still happy. Oh, that's a good one. People should check out that song if they're interested in tracking down some maybe off-the-cuff Linda Ronstadt songs. It's a beautifully written song, beautifully produced, played, sung. Thank you so much, Waddy Watchel, for your part of Linda Ronstadt's music. Over and out. When it comes down to it, all of this music throughout the decade of the 70s for Linda Ronstadt, when it's all said and done, I could not take enough time to share with you how beautiful it is. You just have to go out and listen to it yourself. But I can guarantee you that within all of these albums, right from the get-go, she had an incredible thing to offer the world with her music. Hey everybody, I'm just poking in here to say that yesterday me that filmed this episode kind of forgot a couple of associations with Linda Ronstadt that I really wanted to share within this episode. So I'm just taking it upon myself to dippity dip back in here and share those associations right now because I can. This is my world. The world is my oyster. The first association that I completely forgot about was James Taylor. I know there's probably a lot of James Taylor fans out there, and I'm with you. I think that he has one of the most beautiful and distinctive voices. I was listening to James Taylor music when I was a kid, right alongside Neil Young, Linda Ronstadt, the Eagles, and so many more. And what I want to say about James Taylor is not only is his solo work beautiful, in fact, I love his album Sweet Baby James. There is a young cowboy, he lives on the range. The horse and his cattle are his only companions. He works in the saddle and he sleeps in the canyons, waiting for summer, his pastures to change. Oh man, that whole album is just so beautiful. Anyone out there that doesn't know that it exists, go find that album. But I've seen Linda Ronstadt's name pop up in the liner notes on a couple of his albums, and she provides backup harmonies, and so I'm including this within the gospel because she also does a cover of one of his songs on her album Prisoner in Disguise. Hey mister, that's me up on the jukebox. Hey mister, that's me up on the jukebox. I'm the one that's singing that sad song, and I cry every time that you slip in one more dime. Play me one of those sad songs one more time. Ah, really beautiful. Here's to you, James Taylor, for the music that you've done on your own and the music that you've done with Linda Ronstadt, because I really dig it. It's beautiful. It has to be remembered. And for anyone out there who doesn't like James Taylor, you can... The other association I wanted to mention comes up because of two songs that Linda Ronstadt recorded in her career. One comes off of her 1974 amazing album, Heart Like a Wheel, and the other one comes off of Prisoner in Disguise, and it's called Roll 'em Easy. So Willin' and Roll 'em Easy were both written by a guy named Lowell George, and this project brought me right to him because I did not know he existed, and now I do, because I did a little sneaky peeky researching, and I even picked up one of his albums with his band Little Feat. So Lowell George, who passed away in 1979, was the American singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and record producer who was the primary guitarist, vocalist, songwriter for the band Little Feat. The versions that Linda Ronstadt does of Little Feat songs, Willin' and Roll 'em Easy, are some of my favorite Linda Ronstadt songs. I had to stop and take a moment and, say, hey, Lowell George, Little Feat, I am onto you now. I'm gonna listen to you, and I'm gonna satiate on the goodness of it all. Thank you. Boom. Speaking of Roll 'em Easy, I love the lyrics of that song. Linda sings it so awesomely. There's a great guitar solo. It's a freaking amazing country rock song. Well, I've been round this country from Denver to the ocean, and I never met girls that could sing so sweet like the angels that live in Houston. Won't you roll me easy, bum bum bum, so slow and easy, bum bum bum, take my independence, bum bum bum, no apprehension, no tension, walking, talking, paradise, sweet paradise. Bow, bow, ba, bum, bum. Yeah, I love Roll 'em Easy, so Lowell George, here's to Roll 'em Easy. So those were the associations I forgot about. I think we can get back to regular programming right about now. And with that said, that brings us to the end of this chapter. I thank you guys for being here. You know the drill. Hit that like and subscribe, share it, turn on your notifications, and stay tuned for next week's final installment featuring Linda Ronstadt, where we're basically going to be picking up in 1980 to the present day. And again, there is so much incredible music, and it goes from this country rock genre into so many other diverse genres that you could not even believe it. She is special in that way as one of my honky tonk angels, has the most diverse career and a damn successful one. Return again next week so we can look at this other music that she created and made in her time. Thank you, stay safe and take care. And most of all, boom, boom, boom. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, and you would see the biggest gift would be from me And a card attached couldn't say thank you for being afraid. Dun, 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 dun.